I am a servant of Christ. And today I'm going to talk about what it means to fear God. But first, a story. In case you're wondering about my beard, well, you're not the only one. My sister, woman, she hadn't seen me in a few months, and she looked at me and said, "Whoa, mister, you look like John the Baptist." And then she pretended as if she was going through her fridge and looking for locusts and honey. What Sheila didn't realize is that, in fact, John the Baptist is similar to the mission that Jesus gave me when he told me to start this work. So perhaps Sheila didn't realize that she was speaking prophetically. So about fearing God, the basic thing that is going on here is that a lot of Christians today do not realize what fearing God is. When you get your Bible and you open it and you read, you will see in some places the name of the Lord, that is Lord, and it's in capital letters. Now, that represents the personal name of God. It's based on the Hebrew tetragrammaton, which is YHWH. Modern day, it's pronounced as Yahweh or Jehovah. That name appears about 6,800 times in the Hebrew Old Testament. His personal name with the Lord. And this is fundamentally important as a background to why we should understand what it means to fear God. And I'm just going to read from the Bible and give you examples how people in the Old Testament encountered God, because interestingly, you'll find that every time people encountered God, they tremble. Let me read for you a few things and you can see for yourself. From the book of Exodus, from chapter 19, from verse 16 to 19, I'm ready to receive the 10 Commandments from God. It's another example. That was Isaiah responding to his vision of God. So this is the third example. And this is a Jewish man who had been taken into exile in Babylon, that is modern day Iraq region. And Daniel was one of the high-ranking government officials. So this is his description. So if you can see in all those instances, every time God came to man, we're in fear, we're trembling. So it is against this backdrop that if you go into the New Testament, when Jesus is teaching his disciples to pray, the first line of the Lord's Prayer he said, pray like this: Our Father, our Father, which means Abba in the old Hebrew. Abba is the same as saying daddy, our daddy who is in heaven. Now, this is a radical teaching for the disciples, because Jesus is telling them, when they read the accounts of their ancestors that were seen trembling, Jesus is telling them that they should indeed address him as our Father. But if you understand the background, you would realize that it is actually a privilege for him to be your friend, because the God you are encountering holy. How should you then respond to the fear of God in our generation today, knowing full well that we should approach his throne boldly in the time of need, and yet at the same time we should know that he is a holy God? When you pray that way, it shifts your perspective. It makes you realize that, this is a holy God you're praying to. When you see things this way, you actually realize everything that you hold dear to you, your own life, is a gift from God, and it's on loan to you. We're a generation of superheroes. You have there Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. You have Loki is a god, Thor is a god. And, you have Iron Man is a form of a god with his supercomputer Jarvis. And so we're all about me. We seem to be super sufficient. We seem to be invincible. But in fact, once you start focusing on the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom, you will change perspective. Now that you know that God is holy, perhaps when you read the Bible, be more obedient.